In today's video, we bought an abandoned Yamaha R6 that we found on Facebook Marketplace. This poor bike was left sitting for a couple of years and needed an entire servicing. So then we brought the bike back to being street worthy and we ended up selling it for a profit. This video has a lot of satisfying moments, so kick back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today I picked up this 2008 Yamaha R6. This bike is clean title with 11K miles. And supposedly it's never been dropped before. This is a one owner bike and it looks like she kept pretty good care of it. I looked really closely all around the bike and I'm not seeing any scratches at all, like not even on the frame sliders. It's pretty hard to find an R6 in this good of condition, so I did end up paying a little bit more than I would like to. I would say that we still got it for a decent deal, but the only thing is that this bike needs an entire tune-up. If you guys can see, the chain is all rusted out. The tires are the original tires from 2008, which is crazy. The oil hasn't been done in about 4,000 miles. There's a little crack here in the windscreen, but she actually gave me a windscreen to replace it, so we're gonna do that. The forks don't leak, which is good. There's a handful of rusty bolts all throughout the bike. The bike is absolutely littered with cobwebs. Now the problem is that the bike is lowered, so if we just try to roll it off, it's gonna bottom out, so we need to lift the ramp a little bit. 2 tires, a good idea? I think so. I also didn't mention all the stuff that we got with the bike. We got some spare helmets, some spare tools and stuff, some fluids, and then we also got that rear pit bull stand, which I'm gonna sell on Facebook for 100 bucks. So something really lame happened last night when we went to go get the tires changed. So the guy did a pretty good job with the R6 wheels. I'm not noticing any like new scratches or anything like that. They seem in perfect condition. But the CBR 1000 wheel, he ended up causing a minor dent right here, which is almost unnoticeable. And you know, you can probably hit it back into place, but that's not something that I'm gonna do. But the worst thing that he did was he ended up scraping this entire portion of the rim. It's about a quarter of the rim right there is all scraped. So my plan last night was to, you know, get the new tires on and continue recording, but it just totally killed my mood. So I just called it at that last night, but today we're back and we're gonna go ahead and continue working on the R6. However, before we get to the R6, I do wanna try to maybe touch this up a little bit. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but we're just gonna hit it with some black spray paint. I'm gonna go ahead and cover up the rims and the tires nicely, and we'll just do a little hit of black and see if it looks any better. What really sucks is that this rim is like 400 or 500 bucks on eBay if you wanted to get a replacement. The last time that I went to this guy was in the last video for the Gixxer 750. And we needed that valve stem replaced, and he did an amazing job and he did it really quickly. But I guess this time the tire was being like just annoying or something like that, and he ended up scratching it. But the next time that we need to do tires, I'm just gonna order my own like tire swapping machine. There we go. Okay, that actually turned out a little bit better than I thought. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is put on the new chain. Right here I got a little kit to break it. This is just like a cheap kit that you can find on Amazon for probably like 10 bucks. So how these chain breaking kits basically work is there's a little rod right here. We're gonna line up the rod with the rivet of the chain, and we're gonna be torquing this down, essentially just forcing that rivet out. And then the rivet should pop out at the other end. And just like that. Here's the rivet that we forced out. And now, there's the chain broken. So before we actually put on the new chain, I want to go ahead and pop off the front sprocket cover and clean that front sprocket area. And then we're also going to go ahead and clean the rear sprocket, and then we'll put the new chain on. As you guys can tell, I finally upgraded to some power tools, and it has been absolutely life-changing. Yeah, take a look in there. Probably hard to see, but there's like a bunch of grass in there and just like dirt. So here's me cleaning the rear sprocket. This is normally really hard to clean when the wheel is still on the bike, so if you guys ever have to take your wheel off, I highly recommend taking the time to clean it. I also like to re-grease the bearings a little bit, Just keeps them nice for longer. Another tricky part to clean with the wheel on is the swing arm area. So again, if you have to take your wheel off, I recommend cleaning the spot. It's always very satisfying. Then it's also nice to re-grease this axle, just so then it's easier to take out the next time. Okay, looks good. Okay guys, so we're at the point where we're going to be adjusting the chain. Most likely when you order a new chain, it's not going to be the perfect length. So you're going to have to cut a little bit of it off. We're going to go ahead and cut off 1, 2, 3, 4 links for now. And if we need to do one more, we'll do one more. So this chain kit was pretty painful to use, but what I found worked best for me was putting it on the ground, pulling it halfway with my arm, and then stomping my foot on it for the other half. And then after doing that about 3 or 4 times, I would just use my impact to finish the job. I guess I would need it right there. There we go. Okay, so right here we got a couple of the rusty bolts. These here are engine mounts. This is for the brake lever. And this right here is the stator cover bolt. The best way to get rid of rust is just some vinegar. So we're going to pour some vinegar into this Gatorade bottle. And then we're going to go ahead and just toss the bolts inside. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the oil change. Start the bike, let the oil warm up a little bit. I'm just checking for fun, but the bike is charging perfectly. So the drain plug is right here, and then the oil filter is right here. But we have the shifter rod in the way, so we got to pop this off. We got it. Bro, this thing is terrible. We got it. Come on. And it's on the exhaust. Okay, time for some new oil. We're going to be using Castrol Power One 1040. So we just did the oil and the oil filter. Next, we're gonna go ahead and take off the side fairings. We're gonna take it outside, pressure wash it. All right, so before we wash the bike, let's go ahead and check it out up close. A lot of people are really scared to pressure wash their bikes, but me personally, I've never had any issues. You just have to be really careful with how you're pressure washing it. You don't want to get too close to certain things that have like seals on them and connectors and all that, but if you're doing it from a safe distance, I've never had any issues. I also recommend taking the battery out if you're going to pressure wash it like this, just to make sure there's no current in the bike. With this quick rinse, we were able to get all the cobwebs off the bike pretty easily, but we also ended up finding a little surprise in a second here. This was also my first time ever using a foam cannon, and now I'm totally in love with it. I don't ever see myself washing a bike without one again.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Okay, so we were pulling out a little nest. Look at this thing. Looks like this was a resident of the bike. Look at those teeth. Okay, we're gonna actually pop the tank off and spray it.
Yeah, so after seeing that, I'm hoping that there's no chewed lines.
Oh, there are chewed wires right here. Positive and a negative. This is for something a little bit lower, maybe the kickstand or something. I'll fix that.
Hey, my fault, bro.
Okay, this is the kickstand switch, and he definitely chewed on this one. Okay guys, so here's the after. This is about as clean as I can get it.
Alright, let's go ahead and check the coolant really fast.
The coolant is still a nice green, so we don't have to touch that.
It has been about 2 days since we put these in here. 2 or 3 days. But we're going to go ahead and take these bolts out and see how they cleaned up.
So we got all the screws right here, and they are all rust free.
We're going to go ahead and neutralize the vinegar by putting this in a bath of baking soda, and then we'll put them back on the bike. Okay guys, we're done. So here is the final result. I would say this is one of the most satisfying bike projects I've done so far. And to be honest, before I got this R6, I was actually a really big R6 hater. My plan in this video was to diss a little bit on the R6 because they're too overpriced and they're too overhyped. But after getting a really nice one, I can kind of understand it a little bit. But let's go ahead and check out everything that I did to the bike. First, we did the tires. We put on 2021 tires, new chain. We cleaned the bike inside and out, no more rats or spiders. And finally, we swapped the windscreen out. And I actually really like how the clear looks. I also didn't mention this or record it, but at one point the bike started being really boggy on idle, so I actually also did the spark plugs and coils, which fixed the problem. I just posted the bike on Facebook, so we're gonna go ahead and give it some time to sell, and then I'll catch you guys for the sale. This one?
Yeah, that one works.
Also good.
This one works.
Yeah.
Low beam, high beam.
The other one we checked out, the rear brake would turn on the light, but the front one wouldn't.
Yeah, that happens. Again, I didn't like R6s until I had this one.
Yeah. What's your bike of choice?
Ooh, dude. Honestly, they all have their own, pros and cons. So I kind of like all bikes sort of equally. If I was to keep one forever, it'd probably be like a Honda CBR 1000.
Really? Okay.
Like that white one back there.
Yeah.
That's a lovely bike.
And when did you get the Ducati?
Close to a month ago, but I've had so many other bikes that I've been working on, I didn't get to it yet.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna get it.
Sweet.
How much are you thinking?
Sort of let you pick the price here, I don't know.
How'd you feel about
I wouldn't want to take below 7,000.
we just want to call it 7 even?
Yeah, we can call it 7 even, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good
Awesome.
buyer, on time,
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. So yeah, just make sure to take all 3 of these to the DMV and you'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you do have any problems, let me know, bro.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I always keep contact with previous owners, just
Yeah.
in case, but.
Awesome.
Okay guys, so the bike has sold, so you know what time it is. So here's the cash that we got for selling the bike. It did not read the last bill, that's a 50. Just run it through right here. 50 bucks. So we sold the bike for $7,050, which sounds good and all, but how much did we actually spend on the bike? Here is the visual breakdown of everything that I spent and made. So right here is 5,800 bucks. This is what we spent for the bike alone, which is some of the most that I've put into any bike. Then on top of that, we ended up spending 450 bucks to get the bike all right. If you guys want a more specific breakdown, you can pause right here on everything that I used my money on. So that means that we spent $6,250 all together on the bike, and then we sold the bike for $70.50, which left us a profit of only $800. We spent about 30 hours on the bike, averaging to about $26 an hour. Honestly, if this was a bike that I didn't want to have or work on, then this is something that I would not be happy with. But the main reason that I got that bike is to make an awesome video. And then I also haven't had any R6s in a really long time. So when I saw this bike posted, I was like, man, although I'm not going to make a lot of money from it, it'll be really, really fun to have. I guess I can also show you guys some of the bikes that I have right now. Not making a video on it, maybe making a video on it, definitely making a video on it, about halfway done. Not making a video on it, making a video on it. And then also, we just picked up a 2013 Gixxer 750, which we will be making a video on. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for not posting in a while. I've had a bunch of things going on, a bunch of different bikes and projects, and it's all been absolutely taking forever. But hopefully the next video will be posted sooner than a month. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something cool. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.